Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Ruthie and I am getting ready to make a chicken vegetable stir fry. And these are the ingredients that I am using. I am using some carrots that I just julienned, some pea pods or snow peas, however you want to call them. I have some chicken that I diced into bite-sized pieces. I'm using mushrooms. All I had on hand was a can, but you could use fresh. I'm using some bean sprouts. Again, all I had on hand was a can, but of course you can switch it out for fresh. Some garlic and onion powder, which I'm going to use to season up the chicken. Then you're going to need to use, or you're going to need some of the Asian sauce, which I will leave the recipe down below. So let's get cooking. Oh, and also you will need some oil just to put in the bottom of the pan. So the first thing I'm going to do, and you can use whatever pan you want. I use a wok. I love my wok. As you can see, it's been very well used. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of oil in the bottom of the pan. The pan is already on medium high, and these pans heat up fairly quickly. So just be warned that if you are getting a wok, make sure that you're use safety with it because they do get hot quickly. So the first thing I am going to do is cook the chicken up until it's done, which is not going to take that long at all because in this type of pan, this does cook quickly. So I am going to season the chicken with some garlic and onion powder. I always try to layer my seasoning. So the chicken had no seasoning, so I am going to add seasoning. I'm not going to add salt because I am adding soy sauce and other ingredients that do have salt, so I'm going to limit my salt on the chicken. I just want to give the chicken a slight flavor so that way it's not bland in the dish. So I'm going to cook this until it's done. It's going to take less than 5 minutes. Really, it cooks fairly fast in the wok, and you will see that. Like I said, I do love my wok. I wouldn't change it out for another pan. But you do not have to have a wok, so do not run out and buy one. You can use whatever pan you have available. I'm attached to my wok. So chicken's cooking and we'll move on to the next step. So now the chicken is done, I am going to start to remove it because we need to work on getting our vegetables tenderized or more tender than what they are. I don't cook the vegetables for a long time because I do want the crispiness still left in the vegetable, but I don't want it to be where it's a raw vegetable. So as you see here, I'm just taking out the chicken, making sure that I get all the pieces out. You are going to need to add a little bit more oil, maybe a teaspoon or so, for when we are adding in the vegetables, and you'll see that shortly. You do not need to clean out your wok. That all that's at the bottom that's extra flavor. So I never clean out my wok after doing steps like this. So the next thing I am going to do is put a little bit of oil. I think total you might need 2 tablespoons, if that, or a tablespoon plus a teaspoon. It's your preference on how much oil you do want to use. So that there you can see is probably a teaspoon. I didn't want my vegetables to be too oily. But I'm also using olive oil, which is another good oil to use for high heat, high temperature cooking. So you see I'm adding in the pea pods or snow peas, however you want to call them. I call them pea pods. And the carrots. I'm putting those in first because these are the ones that need to cook a little bit longer than the other vegetables because these have a more bite to them than the other ones would. So I'm going to let these cook for a few minutes to soften them. And then I'm also going to add in now, I have a bell pepper that I did throw in that I had in my fridge that I want to use up. So I threw that in there. I'm throwing in the mushrooms too. And I'm going to keep giving this a good stir. And just making sure you don't burn your vegetables. So you're going to want to continuously stir this and just keep an eye on it. Then I'm going to add in the bean sprouts, which is my favorite of when I cook Asian cooking, or yeah, it's just my favorite. I wish I did have fresh, but I didn't, so I used the can for substitution, which you can, or you can use the fresh. Like I said, I did not have fresh at the time. So I'm going to keep stirring until everything is cooked and ready to go to the next step. So now my vegetables are tender to the point that I would like them. They still have a bite to them, but they're not raw. I'm going to throw back in the chicken with any juices that was on the plate. I'm going to give this a nice stir. And then I'm going to put the sauce. Now for the sauce, I just created the sauce. I wanted something that was flavorful, but yet reminded me of an Asian flavor that I would like. And in the sauce, and I will leave all the full recipe down below so you don't have to worry about missing the recipe. And if I forget to leave the recipe down below, this will be on my website, ruthiecancook.com, so you can also find it there, which that link is down below as well. So in the sauce that I did was soy sauce, chicken stock, cornstarch, a little bit of rice vinegar, ginger, minced garlic, agave, oyster sauce, and some sesame seed oil. And that was what was in the sauce. Sorry, that was a tongue twister there. So I'm just gonna stir everything up with the sauce. Make sure everything is well coated and let this cook down. As you can see, there is sauce, but the sauce will disappear once it starts cooking. And this is the final product. Oh my word, this was amazing. I could not believe the sauce really made this dish. I'm serving this over jasmine rice, which is my go-to rice now. I find it to be easy to cook with, and it's a little bit healthier than the normal white rice. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like the recipe. If you do, give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you in the next one.